In the wild heart of North America, where the wind blows free and nature makes its own laws, lies a land shaped by strength and endurance. It is a territory of extremes, where the desert's heat and the mountain's cold coexist beneath the same vast sky. Every step upon this soil is a reminder that here, survival is not a right, it is a daily conquest. The roar of the wind through the trees, the distant rustle of leaves, the sound of hooves on the earth, everything seems to pulse in harmony with life's most primitive instinct. In this vast landscape, man is merely a visitor. The true rulers are the creatures that defy time and the seasons, patient hunters, solitary wanderers, masters of air and land. Balance is not maintained by brute force, but by the silent wisdom of nature, which decides who stays and who must go. Every species here fulfills a role. Every battle fought beneath the sun or moon is part of an eternal cycle of power and survival. And it is among snow-covered mountains, dense forests, and deserts that seem endless that our journey begins. A flight cuts across the sky, slicing through the wind with elegance and might. Its wings open like a timeless symbol, carrying the very essence of freedom through the heavens. She is the one who will guide us to the next chapter of this wild journey, the guardian of the American skies. Beneath the vast American sky, where the horizon seems infinite, a shadow moves with majesty. Its wings spread in silence, reaching an impressive span. It is the bald eagle, a living symbol of strength, independence, and freedom. The gleam of its white feathers contrasts with the deep brown of its body, creating a spectacle that inspires both awe and respect. Nothing escapes its gaze. Every ripple in the waters below, every whisper of wind through the mountains is perceived with flawless precision. This bird is more than a predator. It is the emblem of a people and a nation. It represents the courage of those who fear no height and the power of those who rule their own destiny. When it takes flight, it seems to carry with it the dreams and struggles of an entire land. And yet, there is grace within its ferocity. With its curved beak and firm talons, it dives toward the lake, breaking the silence in a swift, perfect strike. A fish is snatched from the water in an instant, and the sound of wet wings echoes like nature's own applause. The cold waters of rivers and lakes are its sacred territory. The bald eagle prefers to hunt in places where life thrives in abundance, and its eyesight, able to spot prey from more than a kilometer away, turns every flight into an act of precision. Salmon, trout, and carp become the sustenance that keeps this sovereign of the American skies alive. But it doesn't always hunt alone. The bald eagle is also a strategist. In the struggle for food, it can steal prey from other birds with skill and daring. This behavior, which might seem merciless, is in fact a portrait of adaptation and the unending battle for survival. Every motion, every strike, reflects the delicate balance between strength and need, a reminder that even the most powerful predator depends on the harmony of nature. When breeding season arrives, the eagle becomes a tireless guardian. It defends its territory with low flights and piercing cries that echo like thunder through the mountains. No intruder is tolerated, not another bird, not even man. High among the branches, it builds monumental nests of sticks and twigs, large enough to hold a grown human. There, it creates a home for its young, a symbol of continuity and hope. The chicks, when born, are covered in soft brown down, far from the regal plumage of the adults. It will take years before the white feathers crown their heads, and they earn the right to fly on their own. The transformation is slow but inevitable, a mirror of life itself in the wild, where greatness is born from patience and endurance. Across every corner of the United States, from the snows of Alaska to the heat of Florida, the presence of the bald eagle is a reminder that freedom is the fiercest of instincts. It does not bow before the wind, nor fear the storm. It soars above all, guided by something beyond strength, the indomitable spirit that defines its essence, and, in a way, that of an entire nation. But beneath this same sky, where the air is pure and cold mountain winds sweep the land, another kind of sound emerges. A dry, metallic rattle pierces the silence, awakening the ancient fear of all who hear it. In the burning heat of the desert, where life hides beneath the stones, a new protagonist appears, a creature that warns before it strikes, but never hesitates when danger draws near. Among stones and dry shrubs, something moves with calculated slowness, a presence almost invisible, yet impossible to ignore. is the rattlesnake, sovereign of the deserts, whose very existence commands both respect and fear. Its body glides across the ground as naturally as the wind sweeps over the dunes, and every motion carries the precision of one who has mastered survival at the edge of life. The rattlesnake is the embodiment of silence. It rarely reveals itself, and it rarely misses. Its skin, covered in gleaming scales, reflects the desert light as if it were made of living bronze. When threatened, it releases a warning that few dare to ignore, the rattle's sharp sound. Dry, rhythmic, and ancient, it speaks a language older than time itself, a code of caution that echoes through the ages. It is a reminder that beneath the desert stillness, danger lies in wait. Its hunt is an act of patience. It waits motionless, blending with the sand, until the prey draws near. Then, in a flash too quick for the human eye, the strike comes, swift, precise, and fatal. In an instant, venom courses through the victim's veins, freezing muscles and silencing the heart. Yet despite its deadly reputation, the rattlesnake rarely attacks without cause. It avoids confrontation whenever possible, preserving the fragile peace that nature has written between instinct and survival. Its most extraordinary gift lies beyond sight. Small heat-sensing pits between its eyes and nostrils allow it to detect the warmth of nearby creatures, granting it vision even in total darkness. It is as if it sees the invisible, a weapon shaped by necessity. This ability makes it a perfect nocturnal hunter, ruler of the desert when the sun disappears and the cold takes over the sands. More than 30 species of this serpent inhabit the American continent. Some live in humid forests, others in arid and mountainous regions. All share the same legacy, that of a patient, wise predator, essential to nature's balance. The rattlesnake is not merely a symbol of danger, it is the silent guardian of an ecosystem that has learned to respect its limits. And as night falls upon the desert, the rattle's sound fades, swallowed by the wind. A new silence settles over the landscape, but this silence is different. It is the prelude to something greater. There, on the distant plains, the sound that rises no longer comes from scales, but from paws. A howl breaks the dawn, carrying the ancient spirit of cooperation and the hunt. It is the call of the next guardian of this wild land. The gray wolf, master of wind and woodland, appears both as shadow and as presence, a hunter who not only survives, but commands the rhythm of wildlife itself. His eyes, burning amber, reflect the intelligence and strategy of one who acts not out of blind instinct, but through order and cooperation. Among wolves, strength lies not in the individual, but in the pack. Every member knows its place, and this invisible harmony transforms the group into a true machine of survival. There are leaders and hunters, protectors and caregivers, all bound by a loyalty that transcends need. When they hunt, their movements are choreographed with near-military precision. One advances, another retreats, and together they drive the prey toward the final trap. To witness a wolf hunt is to see the perfect balance between power and strategy. But the wolf is not merely a predator, he is also a protector. Pregnant females seek hidden dens, where they bring forth blind and helpless pups. While she nurses them, the rest of the pack works tirelessly to provide food and safety. Solidarity is the heart of this species, a silent code of unity few animals understand so deeply. It is in this collective act that the wolf reveals his true greatness. For centuries, man saw in him a threat. In the early 20th century, fear and hunting nearly erased him from the American landscape. Farmers condemned him, governments pursued him, and the plains that once echoed with his howls fell silent. When the wolf vanished, balance vanished with him. Prey populations exploded, rivers changed course, and the forest lost part of its soul. It was only when he returned, reintroduced in places like Yellowstone National Park, that life found its rhythm again. The return of the wolves brought not only their howls, but the rebirth of riverbanks, the return of birds, the regeneration of forests. Wherever the wolf treads, nature flourishes. He is the invisible force that shapes the land, even when man cannot see it. Yet his presence still divides opinions. To many ranchers, he is an enemy. To defenders of the wild, a restored miracle. Between fear and admiration, the wolf moves forward, indifferent to human judgment, fulfilling the role nature assigned him. His howl echoes as a reminder that harmony is born of respect, and that true freedom exists only where balance endures. And as the moon rises over mountains and the wolves fade into the mist, another sound rises from the distant plains. A deep rumble, the pounding of hooves striking earth, making the land tremble. A giant awakens beneath the same sky, carrying within him the memory of ancient times, the American bison, titan of the prairies. Its massive body stirs the air with every step, making the ground tremble under the weight of history. It is the American bison, guardian of the plains and a symbol of strength and endurance. Its deep, tranquil eyes seem to carry centuries of struggle and rebirth. Wherever it walks, nature seems to bow in reverence, as if recognizing within this creature the ancient spirit of the land itself. For centuries, bison roamed in vast herds, covering the plains like a living mantle that moved with the wind. Their presence shaped the environment. Their hooves carved paths, their bodies fertilized the soil, and the cycle of life revolved around them. But with the advance of civilization, this symbol of abundance became a target of greed and destruction. Millions were slaughtered until only echoes and memories remained. The thunder of hooves was replaced by the silence of disappearance. And yet the bison endured. It resisted extinction with the same stubbornness with which it faces the biting cold of winter. Beneath heavy snow, it digs with its muzzle to reach the hidden grass, refusing to surrender to hunger. No obstacle is great enough to stop it. This silent strength turned the bison into an icon of American perseverance, a creature that reflects the purest instinct to live. Over time, preservation efforts rekindled its presence on the plains. National parks such as Yellowstone became sanctuaries where bison once again began to thrive. The sound of hooves returned, and with it, the feeling that nature could still heal itself. The giant of the prairies is not merely a survivor, it is a reminder that harmony between man and the land is possible, if built upon respect and balance. Today, it represents not only physical power but also the resilience of a people who have learned to rise again. Just as the United States has faced loss and adversity, the bison has walked alongside history, mirroring the spirit of a nation that fell, rose, and kept moving forward. And when the sun sets over the plains and the golden dust covers the horizon, a new sound emerges among the nearby trees. It is not the heavy trot of hooves, but the light rustle of agile, curious steps. In the shadows, bright eyes watch the world with cunning, the eyes of a small urban survivor who has learned to live among human lights and leftovers. The raccoon, with its black mask and curious gaze, is the perfect symbol of adaptation. Intelligent, agile, and cunning, it has turned urban chaos into its new habitat. Where humans build walls, it finds passages. Where there is trash, it sees a feast. And so, among alleys, gardens, and rooftops, this little nocturnal thief has learned to thrive in a world not made for him. Its secret lies in its hands, or rather, in its claws that resemble human fingers. With them, the raccoon opens lids, unlatches gates, and rummages through containers like a true master of mischief. This dexterity has made it one of the most ingenious animals in North America. Its diet is simple. It eats whatever it finds: fruits, insects, eggs, small animals, or leftovers left behind by humans. Nothing escapes its curiosity. And it is precisely this versatility that has turned it into one of the continent's most successful species. At night, when the city lights fade, the raccoon awakens. Its eyes, adapted to darkness, guide each silent step. It moves with the confidence of one who knows every corner of its domain. Quietly, it explores what mankind discards, finding opportunity where others would see only scarcity. This ability to transform waste into sustenance is the very image of resilience, a quiet lesson in survival amid constant change. But behind that curious stare lies a tender side as well. The females care for their young with deep devotion. Hidden in tree hollows or forgotten attics, the baby raccoons learn early to climb, explore, and above all, to distrust. Nature has made them wary, but not cold. Every gesture reminds us that even the stealthiest have hearts that protect and teach. And as the night dissolves into dawn and the raccoon returns to its shelter, far away in the cold northern lands, another inhabitant of America awakens. Silent as the wind through the trees, and as imposing as a mountain, a giant with golden antlers walks with the calm confidence of one who needs not prove his strength, the moose, the titan of the forests. Its steps are slow but steady. Its calm, watchful gaze reflects the wisdom of a creature shaped by cold and solitude. Among pines and frozen rivers, it reigns as the true titan of the American forests. Weighing over 600 kilograms and standing nearly 2 meters tall, the moose is a colossus in motion. Its antlers, wide and branching, can span as far as the length of its legs, majestic weapons that serve both as tools of defense and symbols of power. When the morning sun touches their tips, they shine like aged gold, and the forest itself seems to bow before its presence. Despite its massive form, every movement of the moose carries a natural elegance, as if it moved in rhythm with the slow, unchanging heartbeat of the land. During autumn, the forest transforms into a battlefield of sound. The male's calls echo through the valleys, deep bellows that announce the beginning of the mating duels. Antlers clash with thunderous force, resonating like storms among the trees. It is a contest of determination and instinct, yet rarely deadly, an ancient ritual to ensure that only the strongest will lead the next generation. When the struggle ends, silence returns, and the victors continue their search beneath the cold glow of the moon. The moose, however, is not only a warrior of the land. In the icy waters of northern lakes, it reveals itself as a surprisingly graceful swimmer. It can dive several meters deep in search of aquatic plants, moving with a lightness that defies its size. In summer, it often crosses entire rivers, using the current as a path and the riverbanks as resting places. In the vastness of nature, it belongs equally to land and water. When winter comes and snow blankets everything, the moose does not hide. Its large hooves act as natural snowshoes, allowing it to walk across ice without sinking. Its thick coat protects it from the cold that freezes even rivers. Even in scarcity, it finds sustenance beneath the snow, stripping bark and branches to endure. It is a born survivor, built to withstand what few could. Yet despite its strength, danger follows. Wolves and bears stalk in silence, waiting for the young or the weak. And among natural threats, there is one more unpredictable: man. Roads cut through its territory, and fatal encounters have become common. For this reason, in many regions, moose hunting is strictly regulated, in an effort to preserve both tradition and balance. The moose is more than an animal; it is a living reminder that greatness can exist in silence. Its presence commands respect, and its calm teaches that true strength lies not in fury, but in endurance. It is the guardian of the forests, the reflection of patience that sustains wildlife. And as the leaves begin to fall and the ice yields to the murmur of rivers, another sound spreads through the woods, a rhythmic crack of wood echoing between the trunks. It is neither the wind nor the step of a giant, but the tireless labor of a small natural architect, one who changes the course of rivers and shapes the landscape with his teeth: the beaver. He is one of nature's greatest engineers. With his strong teeth and endless determination, he transforms the environment around him, shaping the flow of rivers and creating sanctuaries where once there was only current. Every branch cut, every trunk dragged, is part of a project born from necessity, but destined to benefit the entire ecosystem. His teeth never stop growing, and that is why he must constantly gnaw trunks, branches, roots. The orange hue of his incisors reveals the presence of iron, the secret to their strength, allowing him to fell trees far larger than himself. With patience and precision, the beaver builds remarkable dams, capable of restraining rivers and creating tranquil ponds. The result is a new home not only for him but also for fish, amphibians, and birds that find shelter in the calm waters he helps form. These natural constructions, sometimes seen as nuisances by humans, are in truth ecological blessings. The dams preserve soil moisture, prevent erosion, and help store water during droughts. In an age of climate change and environmental degradation, the beaver's work has become an unexpected ally in the restoration of nature. In some regions of the United States, ecological recovery projects depend on his presence. He is the silent architect who brings life back to forgotten rivers. During summer, the beaver is pure activity. He cuts, carries, stacks, and reinforces his structures with the discipline of an experienced builder. But in winter, when ice covers the lakes and winds freeze the shores, he retreats into his underwater lodge. There, safe and warm, he feeds on branches stored from the warmer months. His ability to plan ahead makes him a symbol of intelligence and perseverance in the wild. Beaver families live in close harmony, working together as one. Each member has a task. Some cut wood, others reinforce the dams, and all care for the young. It is a portrait of cooperation that reflects survival in its purest form. There is no hierarchy, only purpose. And perhaps that is why the beaver is admired. He shows that even in the simplest forms of life, there is order, dedication, and love for creation. And when the sound of chopping wood fades and the river resumes its gentle flow, it is a sign that the journey nears its end. The cycle of wildlife continues, carrying the memory of every creature that shapes the American continent, from the skies ruled by the eagle to the forests sculpted by the beaver. But before the waters fall completely still, something remains to be said. Nature, in all its strength and beauty, remains the greatest spectacle of the United States. From the skies ruled by the eagle to the forests shaped by the beaver, the United States reveals its true greatness not in skyscrapers or glowing cities, but in the nature that endures, raw, free, and untamed. Every animal, every landscape, every sound is part of the same heartbeat that has echoed for millennia, reminding us that the Earth's true power lies in its ability to renew itself. Nature does not need an audience to be magnificent. It simply exists, alive, wild, and eternal. It is up to us to learn how to observe, respect, and preserve this delicate balance that sustains all life. Because in the end, when the last wind blows and silence reigns once more, it will be the voices of wolves, the flight of eagles, and the tireless labor of beavers that continue to tell the true story of this land, a story of strength, freedom, and survival. To watch more documentaries like this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the video that's on your screen.